Wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Pile number 7, and I'm super excited to be with you guys. Today, we're going to dive into EURT. We're going to talk about as well about Agora and how they're changing the world of GameFi, and then talk about Smart Send, especially this special day of Valentine's Day. And for that, we have some specials. And of course, we're going to talk about as well market news. Question of the week. It's been some time that a lot of people are asking, I don't get any yield on my EURT. And that's fair because I have some EURT and I don't get a yield either. Long story short, the risk is not worth the reward. Right now, the main reward we get is less than 0.5%. And to be honest, it's just not something that we have prioritized. If we start seeing like different ways to have extra yield and something that does make more sense, we will then obviously push it. But for the time being, unfortunately, it's not there. Regarding this note as well, which is very important, is to understand what has happened last week with the SEC and Kraken really taking down their whole staking program. Obviously, I think so that's the wrong move. I do believe, though, the future of staking and yield and all of that is exactly what SwissBorg has been doing. When I was at CFC Saint Maurice, we were with different people and with Kraken, and we all agreed eventually that if you don't know what's the source of the yield, you're the yield yourself. And I do believe that it's in our jobs to really show exactly where does the yield come from and what's the risk, is it the risk adjusted to that reward or not? And it's really us platforms of wealth management or even exchanges or different intermediaries that help to get those yields to make sure that the community members, users, the clients understand the risk behind it. That's why we're very exciting to recently, be able to offer risk-based on the source of where it's coming, the risk, the time frame. There's so many new things with the parachains on Polkadot and all that. So these are really great ways, I think, so for people to understand where it comes, and therefore to be offering this more like regulated type of, sources of income or being able to take profits and have a recurring income in these different technological protocols. And I think so this is exactly where we should heading, where regulators will feel more comfortable understanding themselves where the source of these different yields are coming from. And even more importantly, what's the risk associated to this? And if you are in a black box and you're getting a yield that's based on staking, on yield farming, on margin trading, and maybe more crazy things such as other people used to give, well, that is usually rather quite risky. But to some extent, it's somewhere a little bit like a fund or multi-strategies, and the liquidity that behind those different strategies are different. The risks are very different, and we know what has happened with peoples that were doing wrongfully, like for example FTX. But we have seen as well other people that were they're doing great things, but doing these multi-strategies that eventually, blew up. And there's many that done that, in the past first semester of 2022. So in order not to repeat those incidents, I strongly believe SwissBorg is really much growing in towards fully transparent yields. I think so this is something that we should really be proud of ourselves. Really leading again the market and showing what are the best practices, and hopefully that will reinforce the regulators and they will understand that not all is good or bad. I think so that you have to just build with best practices and show what's the risk associated with it, and make sure that your business model and your products goes in line with those of your community members. Talking about that, it's been a great success in the past days with the, of course, new opportunities going for like a bit on the parachain of DOT, crazy enough. But, in the prescription happened on February 7th, and in 2 minutes, essentially, it was sold out. So I know something's happening right now. So you have another chance to get into these new parachains. Obviously, you have to understand that the risk is technically is not actually risky. Financially is not so risky, but it's on a very long-term, essentially, lockup period. So that's where essentially you have to understand. Right here, we're talking about 260 days, which is very long, right? But overall, being able to go into these different parachains really helps these new ecosystem like Moonbeam to get to have their own parachain. For those who don't know what's a parachain essentially is running essentially an application on a new network of Polkadot and controlling that network to some extent, facilitating validation, doing to mainly to Polkadot's ecosystem, but being a little bit part of its own parachain to some extent. So that's something very interesting. Dot went very well as well on this prescription happened on February 10th with a 15% API, a smaller lockup period, only 3 months for this one. And again, less than, just over an hour was sold out. So congrats to who got it. There's still more happening right now. Smart send and love, guys. It is Valentine's Day. So the idea here is to send some love to new people that haven't get into crypto yet. This is better than chocolates. It's better than roses. It is the right way to build wealthy and healthy relationships. So what you just have to do is send to your loved ones. Could be your boyfriend, your husband, your whatever friend, your neighbors. It doesn't matter. All people that you care for. Just give them a smart send. Send them some CHSB, send them some Ether, some Bitcoin, Uniswap, whatever you want. And the one who actually does that will have a free dinner. I don't know how that works out, but there's going to be a cool way to get a dinner. The lucky couple will win 1,000 CHSB, more than enough for wine and dine. That's what it is. So please make it happen. Make some referrals. This is the good time, guys, to get into crypto. There's no wildness. The markets are not recovering and rallying yet. So right timing for people to enjoy the great experience. Better than whenever this bull run is going to happen again, where people are going to go hectic and they're going to invest a little bit, then a lot, and then lose it again, and hopefully wait till the next cycle. This is the right moment. So smart send your love. Talking about that, there's a friendship. We're doing this at work, and I just wanted to show you what's happening on my wall. I've known these guys for 10, 15 plus years, and of course my brother forever. So Christoph, you guys know, one of my best friend, and he's been trusting us different train rides for a long time when we were working in banking and hedge funds. And it's great to have him as, a partner at SwissBorg now for over 6 years. Same that goes to Jeremy. All these pictures, by the way, they're 10 plus years. And amazing to have such a great CFO today, and that he is able to have the smile despite the fact that it's really hard what we're doing. Obviously, Anthony, a brother from another mother, having him on my side, and back then in Monaco, looking at wealthy people saying this is not what the planet should be, where you have extreme wealth and then people that doesn't have it. How can we democratize this to make sure that anyone could enjoy a healthy and a wealthy, lucky life? So that was really what it was. And, 10 years later, we're still here with that same smile, that same energy, and that same passion. So for that, a lot of smart send to you and a lot of love to you. And finally, my brother Nakane, of course. Amazing to have such an older brother that has brought me through a multiple journey of amazing rides that we had. A lot of highs, we had few lows. And in any case, we always laughed a lot about it. We always cried a lot of it in a good way, in a bad way. But we always are smiling today. And I think this is the beauty about, this special day that should not be only to your girlfriend, your boyfriend, but to everyone that you love. There's much more people that I should be adding to this beautiful maze. but let's hope there will be more next year. So think about the loved ones and smart send it, or just remind them that you're grateful for whatever they have brought into your life. What's happening about the community support and the Launchpad learnings? What we had is a lot of different tickets came from you guys. And overall, I think some questions was like how to invest. What was the card benefits for some people wanted to ask. Then there were some blockers that were solved through these different like technical issues. I think so that was in the beginning. Then it was about funds and things like that. And overall, there was over 650 tickets. And the great thing about SwissBorg is that when you have questions, well, we have the answers for you. The learnings is that we really try to work in a better way and answer your questions as clear as possible. And overall, people are very happy. So about those 700 questions, 380 people answered that they were very, very enthusiastic about the answers and actually did invest. So this is very, very cool. Regarding the fundraise itself, as you guys know, we're still on for the next 7 weeks, I think so, a little bit maybe less, 6 weeks. As of today, we have over 12,000 investors that became finally partners, which is amazing. What we do have as well is that this is definitely, there you go. I was like, whoa, this is not good. 10.4. There's 4 more from the private round and more coming, of course, hopefully on the public round as we continue, which we're very excited about. Overall, what I could say as well is that, what is very interesting is right now for the smart send, people are trying to ask us, does the smart send are you able to send shares? And no, you're not able to sell shares or send shares for now. But we do believe that in the future, we will be able, of course, with regulation and everybody put in place, to actually be able to sell shares before an IPO that happens, right? We will be in the upcoming months, semesters to years, still not very 100% clear. We will, though, enable people to sell shares between each others. And this will be done in multiple different ways. And obviously, we love to tokenize our shares. This is questions that we're asked very often. And this is definitely a path that we will be leaning towards. So here, guys, I want to talk about our wonderful friends, partners that we have invested. It's called Agora. So Agora, it's a GameFub, powered by SwissBorg and Ultra. Ultra is a great blockchain for gaming, as well as you guys know. Agora aims to connect the most promising GameFi project with gamers, investors, with their 3 core products, which is a cross-chain decentralized exchange, a gamified wallet experience, and a gaming launchpad. This is really their 3 businesses. They already had a drop that happened on January 30th. It went in 72 seconds with a tier 3, so that was really, really good. They're going to go for a second mint. It's going to happen actually tomorrow. So you're going to have 2 tiers. There's going to be the 1 and the 2. And if you guys want to check a little bit what Agora has been doing, they've been doing really great stuff for some time. I think so. It's very much aligned with what SwissBorg is building as well. This is more on the trading side, where I would say the whole SwissBorg is really on the identity, ingraining the communities, and really creating that amazing Web3 esports mindset, where here is more the investment going to the GameFi, right? So it's a great team. Personally, I'm going to mint some tomorrow. They've been, really building a lot their technology recently. Hopefully the DEX will come out soon enough. And I think so affiliated to these NFTs will have different perks in their ecosystem that enable you guys to fully take profits from it. So I'll let you guys enjoy. Of course, do your due diligence. And if you believe this could be a good thing for you guys, well, check it out. So just for you guys again, so there's going to be the mint of the Genesis NFT collection is going to happen tomorrow at 4 p.m. UTC. And there's 2 different types. There's the Minotaur or there's the Medusa. And then they get you a fair amount of token, those 2 different NFTs. So yeah, check it out. And if you enjoy it, let us know. Community events. There was one in Zurich last Friday. I'm really sorry I didn't make it. I was actually in Zurich, so it was really bad scheduling for myself. Tomorrow there's one in Fribourg, and we're going to have more and more. I heard that in March we're going to have a nice tour. Nice things going to be happening. There's MetaFest as well in April. That's going to be super cool. So more events, offline, online, and tell us where to come next. Community member of the week, of course, this is Russell Mack, which is just an amazing person. He's being the GOAT, one of the greatest of all time. And, there's no need of introduction. Just wanted to thank you for being such a lovely person. Of course, Claria as well. You're a wonderful person too. Massive love to both of you. You've been pushing essentially SwissBorg out of Twitter, but the events in life, on Discord, everywhere. So much thank you to yourself and big love to you. CHSB and data, 300 premiums, which is good, but not great. We're still not at the 200 million CHSB stake, so you can still cast your vote here to see what time is going to be. When we get to 200 million CHSB staked in the program. So that means there's still 600,000, almost 600,000, to go, which means not that much, actually. Then overall, things are pretty normal, which brings us to the community index. Cast your vote. What is going to be? Is it in the live, by the way? If you guys cast it, the first guy who casts it will actually earn 100 CHSB. So cast your vote. Ready, you go. Here I come. And it's... What is it? You still have 1 more second to guess, and it's too late. 7.4. Things are going very well. Besides the CHSB, everything is pretty much up. It's green, like this wonderful logo. And I'm very proud of that. It's very good to see things that are picking up. Thank you very much for the support, for the trusts. And looking forward to have the community index next week. Really excited about the community index, 7.4. That's really a great score. Really happening that markets are picking up. We're very much in uncertain times. There's been a lot of doubts, obviously, recently with the whole DeFi aspect, the whole staking with Kraken, now the BUSD being tested as well from Paxos, and the SEC putting pressure onto Binance. We know that is going to be the strategy probably of this first semester, where a lot of regulators are going to put pressure on crypto. But a lot of people always say this is negative, and maybe the markets react negatively, but it's not. To be honest, it's really not. It's very often that they do this to have a conversation, then to put in place the right structure. Especially in the US, which hasn't been unclear, because people are fighting and battling to see if crypto is going to fall into the CFTC, the SEC. So there's a lot of business to be drawn through there. So this is why this is a bit chaotic. And Europe is very much different. The FINMA, obviously in Switzerland, has been regulating crypto now since 2018. The MiCA is about to come and create the standards and the framework for Europe, and they're doing this in a very diligent way, I think so. Which is works more works in a better way, in a more current way than what I think so was happening in the US. But we're gonna see more and more different things. But overall, what I believe we're doing at SwissBorg is that how do we do for what is our strategy in order to make sure that we're compliant and we do things in a regulatory manner. I think so what we always try to do, and since we did this since their ICO to today, is the number one thing. Be on a mission to serve your community. Whatever that mission is, just make sure that you're democratizing something, you're making it fun, fair, and community-centric, right? Because if you make it fun, it'll be nice. If you're making it fair, you're doing this in a good way. And if you're doing it community-centric, that means even that reinforces that aspect to it. What I know that we're always doing that in the right way. We always try to bring transparency at the highest level. Recently, some people saying, oh, but SwissBorg not transparent enough. If that's so, well, please let us know how we could be more transparent. What we try to do as well is hopefully to work, in hands with regulators in order to really provide what is the right framework. What has been done for stocks, is that the same that has to be done for crypto? What you're doing for commodities is the same for crypto. There's always different best practices that are across different assets that could be well done for crypto, but not necessarily everything. So that's really our opinion about how to do things in the right way. What I'm very excited about is the future. Been talking with Anthony over Friday, with Alex as well, and Nicolas a lot. It's about this new crazy roadmap. I don't want to involve more, but SB Nation is really getting back into shape. A lot of people, you've been really part of our wonderful governance structure since the ICO, to the referendums that we had on chain, to the different votes that happened to the app, that we really bring this national council. And I think so this now we're getting more and more in a way how we can enforce this on a technical level. So how to decentralize the governance, but as well how to be able to really enjoy more Web3 applications in the SwissBorg ecosystem. And for that, I couldn't be more excited. This is, the 7 layers in this and how we're building is fantastic. But how these decentralized applications are being built as well is just crazy. And like always, there's so much to be done and more to come. As always, guys, be wealthy, be healthy, love our CHSB and now our equity. Take care, guys. Have a good one.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you 0 fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.